In the small town of Willowbrook, nestled between dense pine forests and quiet lakes, 10-year-old Oliver was known for his boundless curiosity. He loved to wander, exploring the meadows, streams, and forests that made up his home. His parents had always kept an eye on him, though, warning him never to stray too far alone. But on one cool autumn afternoon, as amber leaves drifted down in a gentle breeze, Oliver saw something that caught his eye, a flicker of movement in the woods. He thought it might be a fox, its red fur slipping between the tree trunks. His heart quickened, and without thinking, he dashed after it, hoping for a closer look. As he ran deeper into the forest, the sounds of the town faded, replaced by the rustling leaves and the snap of twigs beneath his feet. The fox darted here and there, just out of reach, like it was leading him somewhere. But eventually, Oliver lost sight of the fox, and when he stopped to catch his breath, he realized he couldn't tell which way he'd come. The tall trees looked the same in every direction, and a chill crept into his bones as he looked around. The sun was sinking, and the shadows of the forest grew longer. The air felt different, heavier somehow, and Oliver's heart started to pound. He'd heard stories of people getting lost in these woods, but he'd always thought he knew them well enough to find his way out. Panic bubbled up in his chest, and he called out, his voice echoing through the trees, "Mom, Dad!" But only silence answered. Oliver kept walking, hoping he'd find a familiar path. He tried to be brave, remembering his father's advice to stay calm and look for landmarks. But with each step, his surroundings seemed to grow more unfamiliar, more surreal. The forest was transforming as dusk fell, branches casting eerie shadows, strange sounds filling the air. Every snap of a twig felt like a whisper, every gust of wind like a phantom passing by. She looked up as he approached, her eyes warm and wise. "Ah, a visitor," she said softly, smiling. "Lost, are you?" Oliver nodded, fighting back tears. I can't find my way home." The old woman nodded knowingly. The forest can be a tricky place, especially for those who chase after foxes. Her eyes twinkled as she spoke, and Oliver wondered if she knew more about his journey than he'd told her. "Sit," she said, patting the log beside her. "It's always best to rest when you're lost. Sometimes the answer comes when you're not looking." He sat beside her, listening as she continued to hum. Her presence was calming, almost magical, and slowly his heart stopped racing. She handed him a woven crown of autumn leaves, their colors vibrant against the fading light. He put it on, feeling a strange sense of comfort, almost as if he were protected. After a few moments, she pointed to a path he hadn't noticed before, a narrow, winding trail lined with stones, barely visible in the dim light. "Follow that," she said gently, "and you'll be home before you know it." Oliver thanked her, clutching the crown tightly as he set off down the path. He didn't look back until he was nearly out of the woods, and when he did, the clearing was empty. The woman was gone, as if she'd never been there at all. But the crown of leaves was still on his head, a reminder of the mysterious guide who had helped him find his way. And as he stepped out of the forest and saw the lights of his home shining in the distance, he felt a deep gratitude for the kindness of strangers and for the magic hidden in the heart of the forest. Oliver's family was overjoyed to see him again, wrapping him in hugs and scolding him in the same breath. But as he told them about the old woman and her gentle guidance, his parents shared a knowing glance, remembering old stories of the forest's guardian. And from that day forward, Oliver always stayed close to home, knowing that sometimes help can come from the most unexpected places.